welcome back to my Flosstube. My name is Rachel and this is Lemonade Stitching. I want to give a quick disclaimer right off the bat. My kitten is running around. She has lots of energy today, so if you hear whining or running or toys, that is what that is. But anyway, she officially has a name. I introduced her to you guys last week, or a couple weeks ago when I last made my video, and her name is Sybil. I think it fits her really well. It's after one of our favorite characters in Downton Abbey, not the Psycho movie, which I didn't know existed until I told my mom what her name was, and then I got an earful about it. But anyway, I think it's super cute. She's super cute, super playful, and loving life with her. But since my last video, we've actually had a very sick household over here in Kentucky. Sorry, this is her room, and I tried to kick her out, but then she just started crying, so now we just have to put up with her playing while I film this video. Anyway, very sick household in the last 2 weeks. So Sybil actually got sick like right after we got her, about 5 days after we picked her up from the adoption center. And it started as a upper respiratory infection and then turned into pneumonia. So that was terrifying, especially as a first-time cat mom. Lots of emergency trips to the vet, antibiotics, x-rays. It was super scary, super sad. She had like no energy, was not eating, drinking. So that was terrifying, but she's feeling a lot better now. All of her energy is back. She's eating lots, gaining weight, which is good. But Memorial Day weekend, we pretty much did nothing except for sit on my couch and cuddle with her, which is great because I got a lot of stitching done and she did not interfere whatsoever, but I felt so bad for her. And then right as she started to get better, Graham actually came down with a stomach bug the following weekend. Graham came down with a stomach bug the following weekend, and then this past week I had a stomach bug. I actually missed my 3rd and 4th day of work at my new job, so that wasn't the best, but feeling a lot better today. Most of my energy is back, not 100%, but I had real food for breakfast, so that's good, as opposed to chicken broth and saltines, so we're definitely on the mend, but everyone's starting to feel better, but it was a rough couple of weeks over here in our house. So the first week and a half, I got a lot of stitching done, but then once I was sick, no stitching was getting done because I was out of it. I had no energy. It's pretty much just watching TV and sleeping for a couple of days. But I have a lot to show you guys stitching wise, so I'm gonna jump into that. I also have a new stitching setup that I've been keeping downstairs. So I have this basket that has been housing all of my stitching, and I keep this right by the couch. Hold on a second. Sorry, Sybil got into it. Sybil is jumping on the tripod and stuff. But anyway, I have this basket, and this is where I've been keeping all my stitching, right by the couch. And I finally got project bags for all of my projects. So everything is in their own bag now instead of having 3 per bag, which is fantastic. So this has been really nice because I can just pull one out at a time, and it's easy to switch between them, whatever. And then I have this cute little thrifted jar that I've been using for all of my little little threads that I cut off. Before I would just kind of leave them on the couch or wherever they ended up, and it was kind of a mess, but I finally have a place to put them, so this has been on the table right next to the couch, and it's been great. I've loved not having to stitch in bed anymore. Anyway, so I'm gonna go through these. I stitched on most of my projects in the last couple of weeks, so I'll just pull them out. I don't really have a real order to them. This one is still in the frame. So this is my Love Bug Sampler by Sprouting Blue Pine. And I have the cover image. I've been doing terrible in my last couple of videos, showing the pictures and giving you guys all the info. But this is what it looks like. And I'm doing mine on 32 count Sprite Lugana, and that is the called for fabric. In the picture and online, it looks a lot more pink, but when I got it, it was very purple. So I'm doing my own DMC purple conversion. Oh, this one is a mess. There's just threads everywhere. But here's where we're at with this one. And it's looking fantastic. I'm loving it. This needle binder is actually new. I just made it myself last weekend. I made a few of them actually with some old sorry, with some old enamel pins that I found while I was moving. So this is a strawberry pin, and then these, what are these called? These like magnetic things, bungee magnetic cables I got from Amazon. I've seen a lot of people on Flosstube with them, and I really wanted some, so I finally have some, and it's been making stitching fantastic. And this is actually a hoop that I showed last time. It's one of the Nerge like square embroidery hoops, and I wasn't too sure about it the first couple times I used it, but what I'm really liking about it is that it's so big. I have a lot of room that I can actually put my pattern on the fabric while I'm working on it. So I'll just use the cover image as an example, but there's enough room where I can put it on, and it's so much easier than having to hold everything. And so I can like pretend this is a pattern, I can see what I'm doing and stitch at the same time. So that's been a really great advantage of having this large hoop. So far I really like it. And I haven't really been using my smaller hoop in the last few days. But yeah, so that's Sprouting Blue Pine, and that was a sale that I started in February with Marjorie Made. And I always say, the last couple of videos I've been saying her channel wrong, and it's because I get confused because her YouTube, her Flosstube is Marjorie Made, but her Instagram is Marjorie Made Stitches. So I apologize for that. I caught that in my last couple of videos, and I was like, it felt right, but it also felt wrong at the same time. So Marjorie Made on Flosstube, Marjorie Made Stitches on Instagram. But this one I've been really liking working on. Next is my Maloka Mystery Sal. This one is on 14 count pink Aida that I had in stash. And I finished part 1 and 2, and then I started on part 3. I worked on this one for like a few days straight, and I just got kind of tired of it, so I haven't picked it up in a little while. But this is part 3 where I'm working right now, and then I think part 4 comes back up to this corner. So that's where we're at. We probably have another week, few days. I honestly have no idea. I have not been paying attention to the schedule for this one, so I don't know when the next part comes out, but that's where I am with that. It's been super fun. And I also, one thing I got in the last couple of weeks was new bobbins from Eleanor Cross Stitch. So this floss is finally on actual bobbins rather than these little like paper cardstock ones that I made that were falling apart. And so that's been much more enjoyable to use and stitch this with. So this one, but yeah, no, that's Maloka, I think it's like hashtag Maloka Free Sal. And this is from Etsy. Well, I'm sorry, no. I found her designs on Etsy and TikTok, but she also has a website you can purchase it from. And the sal itself is being run on Facebook, in her Facebook group. Okay, I did not work on Summer Symphony. I wanted to, but every time I went to pull it out, it was just like, full coverage did not seem like the vibe, so I did not work on that. I did pull out Autumn and Stars Hollow. This one I'm stitching on a 14 count ivory Aida, and I had a little casualty actually on this one. I never eat around my cross stitch, but apparently I had a crumb left on my shirt, so there's a little chocolate spot, but I think, I don't even know if you can see it. Oh, hey! There is a little chocolate spot on her, but I think it'll be fine. Anyway, here is where we're at. So lots of work on the building, and I started extending down, outlining this little guy over here. And I also finished all of the frogging on this side of the fabric, which is great. If you don't know, I accidentally started this on the wrong end. This is where winter is going, and I originally started it over here, but I just didn't have it in me to frog it all at once, so I started stitching, and every so often I want to go back and frog a little more, but finally done frogging. And then this is my progress on Autumn and Stars Hollow, and I didn't show you the cover photo. Here's the cover photo, and it's by the Black Needle Society. I'm patiently waiting for Summer and Stars Hollow to go up on the website, but I'm not really in any rush because I'm nowhere near done with this. So we'll get to it when we get to it. But Autumn and Stars Hollow, like I said, 14 count ivory Ada, and it's looking pretty good. And the needle minder on this is the like Gilmore Girls Troubadour from Black Needle Society. Alright, I'm trying to keep all my projects neat and organized. Sometimes I like to just kind of leave them out, but obviously with the kitten now, I cannot do that because she will get right into them. The only nice part when she was sick was that she didn't have the energy to get into my stuff, so it was okay if I left it out when I shouldn't, but definitely have to be careful of that now that she's feeling better. And not like needles or anything, but like leaving the floss out or leaving the hoop out, something like that. Friends, I didn't work on Friends either, but I did work on Calico House, which is very exciting. I posted a little bit about it on Instagram. This one I haven't worked on in a while because I got a little discouraged because I made some mistakes and I just wasn't loving it. So this is what Calico House looks like. It's a little leaflet that I got from my grandma. Sweet little blue house. And I'm stitching this on an off-white 22 count Hardinger. And this has a lot of progress on it. I can pull it out. This is how it's looking. This is another needle minder that I made. It is a gondola that I got while I was in Venice, excuse me. But anyway, here's how the house is looking. And so what I ended up doing on this was, one of the first problems was I was having a really hard time backstitching the roof. It took 100 tries, but I finally got it to be good enough where I was like okay with it. It's still not my favorite, but it's good enough. And then the other problem was that I had stitched the door wrong. So I think I did the back stitching wrong in the door. Oh. I did the back stitching wrong in the door, so it was not supposed to have this dark blue. So it was light blue flowers with dark blue back stitching. And then I realized that was wrong, and I was like, well, I don't really want to rip out the back stitching and redo it because it was in the middle of a strand, so I would have to like take more than just the door out. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. So what I ended up doing was taking a medium blue and going around the light blue flowers that were in there, and then I did a half stitch fill in with the same medium blue. So it's not as dramatic as the roof. That's what it's supposed to look like. Is it supposed to look like the roof? It's a little different, but it gives more of like a screen door vibe, I think, because it's a little lighter, it's not solid. And I think it came out really nice. And then I just finished one of the bushes. I cannot hold anything today. I finished this bush on this side, and I finished both of them, actually. I finished both the bushes. I did the stitching along the outline of the house, and then I started with the grass. The grass is a lot. It's very solid. I think I did the whole height of the grass. I think this is the lowest it goes, and then it just kind of like mirrors it on this side. But because of this little design in here, it makes it a pain in the butt to count all the way across. So I've just been doing it in little chunks, but I think this is coming together really, really nice. I definitely want to hang this up, possibly in my downstairs like half bath or by the front door, not 100% sure, but I'm really liking how this is coming together. I know I was very unmotivated to work on this for a little while, but I'm liking it now that I have made progress on it. Sybil just is so interested in everything today. She will like, really every day, she'll jump right up on your lap, but then like just jump back off and just use you as another thing to climb on. So that's when adjustment is adjusting to her energy, because we got used to her not having all of the energy, and so now I have to, adjust to that. So anyway, I think that's all my stitching. It felt like a lot of progress, but I went through it super quick. If you have any questions about any of my projects, feel free to just either leave a comment, or I started a Google Doc where I keep all of the details about my projects and links, and I'll have that in the description bar, so feel free to check that out. The other project that I worked on a lot over the last couple of weeks is my Diamond Dotz painting. I haven't worked on this in a while since I left Binghamton, because I actually sent it to Kentucky with Graham in the beginning of April. So I didn't have it with me for a couple of months, but when I got a little sick of stitching last week, because I was just stitching for days and days and days in a row, I pulled this out. Ooh, hello. And it is looking fantastic. Let's see if you can see it all. So I ended up finishing all 3 of the blue domes, and then I was working on this building over here. I hope you can see it. If you can't see it, I'll like take a video of it and show you guys that. I think it's looking amazing. I'm loving it. It's really fun because it's not like completely mindless, but it's pretty close to it, and definitely not as much brain power as stitching is. So it was a really nice break, really nice to have something similar but different to work on. And I only have like a single diamond pen. I know I see on TikTok that they make them in like a wheel where you can do 3 or 5 or 10 at a time. I only have 1, so placing everything one by one it's kind of fun, honestly. So I worked on that a bit and was loving it. And I was nervous to pull it out at first because I definitely didn't want Sybil to get into the little gems, but she had no problem. But I haven't pulled it out since her energy has been back, so we'll see how that goes. The only other thing I think I have cross-stitch wise is, these new bobbins. So I placed a big order with Adam Hart Cross Stitch, and I got 2 packs of the imperfect black bobbins. I've talked about these before, but they're basically they're the same as the other ones, except the quality isn't 100%, so they're discounted like 50% off. So I got 2 packs of these, so they're normally $22 each. But I got 2 for $22 because they're each $11. So I got black, and then I got a pack of the regular clear acrylic ones as well. I think I got 100. Yeah, I got the 100 pack, so I was just sick of running out of bobbins. So now I have like 200 plus the blended thread ones that I showed in my last video. So I should be set for a little while on bobbins. And then I'll show you my other 2 needle minders that I made. So I showed you the strawberry and I showed you the gondola. But I also made one with an Italy pin. Gotta pull it out. So this one doesn't have a project right now, but this is a pin I got when I was in Italy last summer on the same trip as when I got the gondola pin. I spent about a month in Europe with my friends from college. So I got this one, and then I had another one, but I don't know what project it's on. Oh, here it is. This is on that birdhouse piece. I don't know what this is actually called. I don't know. We'll call it the birdhouses for now. I haven't stitched on this yet, but this is a little pendant from Magnolia Farms that I got. And I actually got this on my very first visit from my old job. And it was at Magnolia Farms in Waco, Texas. I visited Baylor for their primary recruitment in January 2021. No, 2022. So I picked that up while I was there. And so now I have 4 new needle minders. That project had been on my to-do list for months. I think I had the idea in December, and it took me literally until May to actually do it and follow through. It wasn't that hard. I just snapped off the backs, and then my dad like grinded it down, but it took forever for me to do. So glad that's finally done. Glad I have needle minders on every project, but now that I bought those magnetic cable ties, those can also work as needle minders as well. So I should be all set with all the needle minders and magnets and everything I need to start some new projects, which I don't need to do, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks go. But yeah, other than that, I finally started reading again. I took a couple weeks break. I finished the first Throne of Glass book, and I started the second one. and I just finished it last night, and I have been having a hard time with those books. I want to love them so bad because I love ACOTAR and I want to just be in the multiverse and love the whole thing, but I found them a little tough to get through, and I don't know if it was slow or what, but it was just hard for me to stay motivated to read it. But then it was like once I got to the end, I'd be hooked again and I had to read the next one, and then I'd get kind of sick of it and I wouldn't pick it up for 2 weeks, and then I'd get to the end and I was hooked again. So I am planning on continuing with the series, but I'm going to take a little break. My loan for Crescent City, the first Crescent City book, just came up at the library. So I borrowed that, and we're gonna switch over there because, like I said, I want to read the books in the Sarah J. Maas universe, but I don't know, throwing up glasses just been a little tough for me, so hopefully it gets a little better. But we're gonna take a break, and I just started the first Crescent City book last night. I'm like 1 chapter in, so I don't know too much about it yet, but it was weird going into like a contemporary fantasy book from like the other ones, because I didn't really do much research on it. I don't know much about the books, and if you're not familiar, this one is much more modern, it seems, where like they talk about college and they talk about smoking and they talk about I assume phones, because they talk about like sending videos, so like technology and stuff like that, versus that isn't talked about in any of the other books. Like it's not that kind of world. So that was cool, but it threw me off at first, but I'm excited for it. My cousin has read that book and loves it, so I'm excited. But yeah, so I think that's everything I just share with you guys. Other than that, new job has been going great, other than the fact that I missed half the first week, so I feel really bad about that, but hopefully I'll make a better impression next week. Everyone has been super nice. I really like it so far from what I can tell, so I'm excited to actually go to work for a whole week and show them that I don't call in all the time, and I promise I will show up. The timing just kind of sucked on when everyone got sick. But actually, before I end, I do have one other thing I was going to ask you all. I'm looking for a monthly series that I can, like a little monthly series that I can make and put on my desk, finish it as kind of like a magnet with a little like frill around the edges, and magnet it to my desk at work, just to add a little touch, bring in a little bit more of my personality, other than just like photos of myself. So if anyone has any good small monthly series suggestions, please leave them down below. I haven't done too much research on it yet, but I definitely want something little that I can stitch up and have ready for July and maybe August. We'll see how it goes, because it's already, what did I say, June 10th. But yeah, so I just love a little something I can finish pretty easily, and hang on my desk to show that I like to cross stitch and have something to decorate. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. And now I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching.